What the fuck? Where's Rem? No Rem, no Rem. We actually got two other girls with more screen time instead of Rem. What's going on? Hey guys, so Fanto here to give a review for RE0 in this episode. This episode pretty much was more progression into Subaru's ultimate big plan in fighting the witch. First we got the whale, now we got the witch cult. And here we get like an interesting twist with Julius, the knight who beat the shit out of Subaru a while back, and we get more like character development for Subaru and him having to suck up his pride and able to like have to deal with Julius and work with Julius. Now the interesting thing is like they first meet and they're like saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" Julius is like, "Oh, how you been? Like how are your injuries? Yada yada yada." And like Subaru being the guy he is, he tries to act all cool, brush it off. Oh, I healed pretty quickly. And then later on in the episode, you see Subaru actually apologizing, saying, "Oh, listen, this whole thing was my fault. I was being stupid. I spat on the fucking knights. I was trying to be all high and mighty." And then Julius also apologizes as well. He says like, "Oh, I'm sorry for attacking you that way. I also let my pride get in the way." But, Julius doesn't really mention that he probably might have helped Subaru out by him beating the crap out of him, because if it weren't for him, who knows what those other knights might have done to Subaru if he had gotten outside of the castle. So you probably see how that Julius is probably like, he's willing to take the role of the villain, and, he's very humble. They both apologize, but they pull back a little, where they show that Subaru, isn't going to be the perfect character, which we all know that the writer's been doing that for a long time. They pull him back, and they still show a realistic view on someone who probably beat the shit out of you. He like, "Oh, I apologize. I admit that I was wrong. I still hate your guts." And then Julius, they show like he's a real dude too. He's like, "I hate your guts too. I don't really like you. I don't plan on really being friends with you." And I'm like, "Oh, I like that. Cool." They put their differences aside, but they're not going to be like butt buddies all of a sudden. So I really like that about Subaru's character. So as far as like character development go, we got that really good with Subaru. And then so there's other things I want to talk about with this episode. Probably like maybe two things. The encounter with Betelgeuse and a new other character who's just a psycho. And the ending, of course. So we run into Betelgeuse again, because they know the plan ahead of time. They're able to kind of ambush them through the night. It's funny how Subaru kind of like acts this out. He kind of walks into the witch cult like as if he knows everyone is like, "Oh, yo, what's up? I'm here to enter the witch cult, yada yada." That's so he acts like he's all cool. He orders the guys around. And Betelgeuse, he acts like as if he's gotten the gospel before, which is a book that apparently is given out to every member who has the potential to be part of the witch cult. And he has like the witch's smell, which is strong enough to be one of what we find out is called an archbishop. And what we know is that he calls him Pride. He's like, "You wouldn't happen to be Pride." Again, he says that again. And the reason why he says that is because he has the vacancy for the slot of Pride compared to the other sins is open right now. Or it's like there's no one taking the seat. And he thinks it's Subaru because he has the witch's smell, which is strong enough to be an archbishop. Which I believe is like in a hierarchy in the witch cult. I guess that's what they were trying to prove. I probably should watch the episode again, but that's what I got from my first viewing of it. And it's really interesting because he has no recollection or no record of him in the gospel of Subaru appearing. So that's really interesting. Like Subaru, he has the smell. We've seen Satala's face behind him a couple times, but yet there's no talk of Subaru in the gospel, so to say. And I'm like really find that interesting. Was it like a different name for Subaru back like in his other life? I'm just gonna say Subaru probably had another life, which is why he might be here in the first place, but who knows. But the funny thing is that they end up ambushing the witch cult and they kill Betelgeuse. And I'm like, I wonder how many times are we gonna see this guy die? Is Subaru gonna die again and we're gonna have to go back and we're gonna see Betelgeuse die again? Because so far I think his deaths are kind of funny. Like he gets smushed, he gets chopped in half, and I'm like, fuck, that shit's pretty funny. I don't know why, I just love when this guy gets fucking killed. It's hilarious. So we move forward and we actually meet someone else who actually has the same power as Betelgeuse. There's the invisible hands, and it's a chick, and I forgot her name because I watched the episode not too long ago, and she's just as nuts. She's like, "You have the witch's love, which I believe is like power from the witch. The witch's love is much more than just a regular member. It's enough to be an archbishop. And that's, again, they said that archbishop twice in this episode. So archbishop is definitely a high ranking in the witch's cult. And Subaru's got that kind of potential, I guess, or power or love, whatever you want to say. Now here's the thing, is that this other crazy bitch who's like ambushing the rest of his like group and like smashes them with the hands, she's about to attack the twins, and then you see Wilhelm, and then he attacks the hands. He chops them, and I'm like, holy shit! So we know that this guy can see the hands. That's something big. Like, how was he able to see the hands? Like, they never built up for him able to see it before. So I'm a lot more interested, even more than before, into Wilhelm's backstory, man. We need to know more about this character. We get some like little like hints to all these people's backstories through dialogue, through actions. You really gotta pay attention sometimes in this series. I'm pretty sure I missed a couple of things. I don't want to watch this again, but I really like how they build in like little droplets of the plot through dialogue and action. I love that about it. Love it about this series. What else? And they call them fingers. 10 fingers. So I'm taking it, there's like 10 groups. And the way they mention it, as if like there's more people with the authority of sloth. So I mentioned like a couple, like back in a couple episodes, that I didn't think that Betelgeuse is actually like has the power, maybe the power of sin. I'm an anime only, I could be wrong. But what if he's like, they're each given a power from the actual sin, the powerful sin, the person who's actually named Sin, and they each have their own groups, and they're called the authority of sloth, because they follow sloth. And then there's a different group probably following the gluttony, envy, all the other 7 deadly sins. That's my theory on this whole thing. Maybe that's all it is, because like there can't be too many like sloths. I think they're probably just followers of sloth, and they live by his rule, and then that person lives by the rule of the witch. Maybe that's what I think. I could be wrong about this, completely wrong. We'll see. So there's 10 other people. There's 10 other groups that they have to go after. And another thing too is that we get a cameo from Emilia. Finally, crud. We saw her in the last episode, and then we see her again in this episode. I missed her so much. Like, I love Ram, but I miss Emilia so much. I really liked her character. She talks to Puck a little bit, and they talk as if like, oh, you're tired, Puck. You must be tired too. The barriers are all up. Don't worry about it. So it seems to me the fact that they say that the barriers are up, it probably seems like they're anticipating an attack from the witch's cult, and they still got past it. So if like, let's say they put a barrier up and the witch cult still got past it, is there like an inside job going on within the house of Emilia? Is there a traitor amongst them? I'm not exactly sure, but that's something to keep in mind. So with that being said, the ending was what I really wanted to talk about. Ugh, man, the screen time. We finally get Ram, not Rem, Ram. Ramen. Okay, that was horrible. She shows up, like, you see Subaru, he's about to actually try and make up with Julius, which is another good thing about his character, but he was kind of told to do that so they can become like a stronger duo. They want him and Julius to make up as and be friends, and which is kind of different from what they thought of in the first episode, but it's kind of difficult, so he's trying to say it. Then all of a sudden you see like this color that goes the whole army. And it's like, it's just Subaru, and he's looking up, and you see like a woman with the hood, and you can hear the music in the background, dun, 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 the ending, and it's Ram, and it's pink hair. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's her. I'm like, whoa, that magic that she's doing seems pretty powerful. So like, I'm curious what that story is gonna lead to, like her having that kind of magical power. Does that have to do with her master keep doing that forehead thing that she was doing, like in the beginning of the season, whenever she would sit on Rosal-sama's lap and he would like touch her forehead, was he like trying to bring back her horn little by little, or was he making up for her power? I'm just so excited for the next episode. I really like this episode. I'm gonna give it probably like a 4.2 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyable episode. Good character development, some solid action. Shit was, some of the comedy was, I just laughed at Betelgeuse's death. I don't know how many times we're going to see him die. I'm going to keep counting. That's death number 2, and they're both fucking hilarious. Fantard out.